Hi folks, this is All the Fruit and I'm in Putrajaya Botanic Garden in Malaysia. What's Putrajaya Botanic Garden? Well, probably the most beautiful botanic garden I've ever seen, maybe only rivaled by Fairchild in Florida and the Palmen Garden in Frankfurt, Germany. And Putrajaya Botanic Garden is only one in a series of huge and really well maintained parks in the area of Putrajaya. Well, what's Putrajaya? It's the new capital of Malaysia. Basically, not so new anymore, already a couple decades old. A couple decades ago, the government decided that Kuala Lumpur is a little bit too crowded, and they basically created a giant, very expensive, very well planned, very well executed, very well maintained, and also pretty empty-ish city 20 kilometers south of Kuala Lumpur. And they created this series of miles and miles and miles of wonderful parks, mostly along the lakes and lagoons of the area. Basically, it's one giant continuous body of water with hundreds or dozens of bays and peninsulas. And the Botanic Garden is quite typical for the city of Putrajaya. Gigantic, very well planned, very well executed, very well maintained, and pretty empty. Today there are actually a couple visitors, but when I'm here usually I see several times more workers than visitors. So let's see what we have here. Most fruit are not in season now, but the elephant apple is, Stilenia indica. Well, behind me the pandanus walk. No pandanus was in season. Here some bamboo collection. Of course, I cannot show you the whole botanic garden. I'm just trying to give you an impression. Well, here a group of coconuts. Different varieties. Here are some golden ones, here are some green ones. I guess that different varieties have been planted here in groups of like 5 to 10 plants. You can go around by bike and I think even by car if you are disabled. No, I think you can rent a buggy if you really need to explore the botanic garden. And this is good because it's really huge. Really huge, and also the rolling landscape of Putrajaya. Well, if you are old or sick or slightly disabled, can be a slight challenge. Here I'm walking along the waterfront of the botanic garden. I was wondering where to make the video. The waterfront is really beautiful, but there are some paths on the tops of those low hills with an amazing view and also an amazing display of plants. Well, like most parks like most botanic gardens in Malaysia, it's not so much a collection of herbaceous plants like in the temperate areas. It's more like a giant park with an incredible diversity of trees, and most of them even do have a label. Labeling here is much better than in many other botanic gardens I've seen. Of course, not perfect. From time to time I have some tree which I would really like to know what it is, but I cannot. But that's basically a thing about most of those tropical botanic gardens. They concentrate heavily on trees, which is not bad in my opinion, because trees tend to have fruit. And I like fruit. And now I'm just trying to talk some stuff so that I can keep you here until I reach some of those beautiful parts with a nice view. Here a squirrel is jumping on those giant rocks. I like those rocks. Look almost like some type of Celtic stone circle. But they are just for stabilizing the slope and for decoration. Yeah, basically most of the garden is a giant arboretum, but this is quite typical for botanic gardens in Malaysia. Out of breath already. I guess here I'm in the fig collection because there are lots of ficus species. Whew. Didn't sleep very well the last 2 nights. I'm getting tired easily. Well, it's pretty much everywhere in and around Kuala Lumpur. The botanic garden is on the site of a former oil palm plantation, and those oil palms, well, they got lucky. Here, by the way, a view over the lake towards one of the numerous palaces of Putrajaya. Well, those palms got lucky because although the oil palm can grow pretty old, it's almost impossible to harvest the fruit from those about 20-meter high trees, and they would have been cut down and replaced by new oil palms long ago. But since they became part of the botanic garden, they got a couple more decades. Well, here's some more herbaceous collection. Over there's a loud guy with a leaf blower. That's a big problem in those botanic gardens of Malaysia. They are so tiny because people remove all the leaves, dead twigs, fruit and grass, sometimes at least once a week. So they remove all the nutrients from the very poor tropical soils. Well, Sun Garden, African collection. What do we have here? Floral steps. And here, finally, the oh, 2 more squirrels, 3 more squirrels. There is 4 more squirrels. They sure like it here. They have all those oil palm fruit and a lot of other fruit. And yeah, have no trouble finding enough food. I guess nobody is bothering them very much. Well, here, one of the trails with a perfect view. Even if you are not into botany so much, if you come to Malaysia, you will come to Kuala Lumpur, and then you should also visit Putrajaya, which is on the way from the airport to Kuala Lumpur, and also visit the Botanic Garden of Putrajaya, because all that effort that went into this new capital and this gigantic botanic garden needs to be appreciated in some way, folks. It's really amazing and so sad that there are not too many people coming here to appreciate it. As you can see, it's really gigantic and basically no visitors. There was a small group in the entrance area and nothing since then. Hectares over hectares of beautiful plant collections and around them square kilometers of other beautiful parks, most of them publicly accessible. I guess not all the palace gardens are publicly accessible, but most of the gardens are public. Well, I guess you got kind of an impression of the botanic garden now. It doesn't seem to be really fruit season, but I think I'll still find a couple interesting fruit. So I'm finishing the video for now. So folks, stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful botanic garden of Putrajaya. If you come to Malaysia, definitely do visit Putrajaya and its beautiful botanic garden. And of course, don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.